Yo. Yes, yes, people. This is a second attempt. I know there weren't no one in there, so no one will fucking know. But like, basically, I done a whole like 20-minute chat. Like, I was 20 minutes in before I clocked that this mic wasn't working. It wasn't plugged in, etc. So for me, that was annoying. But shout out, my boy Sad from fucking the football corner. Make sure you check that out. He called me up just as I figured that. He called me up. I was like thinking to myself, ah, if only he'd called me like literally like fucking 20 minutes before. But love, brother, if you see this. But yeah, listen, I'm gonna be talking about Arsenal striker situation. Everyone get involved in the comments in the chat. Um, it's going to be going up as a video, obviously. So comment below. I'll be replying to all the comments. Who you think Arsenal should sign as a striker? Who you'd like us to sign? Unrealistic targets that you want us to sign. I'll be talking about a few. And who you don't want us to sign. And if you think we even need to sign a striker at all, if you don't think so, you're wrong. Yeah, I'll just say it like that. But listen, obviously remember the whole like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel grow. It really does help me out. Yeah, man. Listen, let's get straight into this. I feel like I'm in what's it called? Like deja vu land. I've started this video again. Bloody hell. But yeah, listen, we'll start off with the strikers we have. Jesus and Eddie Nketiah are the two strikers we currently have. Um, First of all, on Jesus, we knew what we were doing when we were signing Jesus. We knew the type of striker he is. He's not a 30 goal a season striker in the sense like guaranteed. He's more of a contribution man. We knew that. He ain't that as a player. He weren't brought in to do that. So I'm not throwing no shade on Jesus. I think Jesus always have a place in this team, even with another striker coming in. The same cannot be said for Eddie Nketiah for me. He's not good enough for Arsenal. I feel sorry for Eddie because I think he's a decent player, and I think at Brentford, the Brighton, or West Ham, and Aston Villa, he's a top striker. But for Arsenal, I just don't think it suits him. Listen, third choice. If he wants to stay as third choice, we get like a player in plus Jesus, and then he's a third choice. He can do that. I wouldn't complain. But at the same time, I look at it and I think we got Trossard that can play there, Martinelli that can probably play there. We got Havertz that can play there. Like if ever need be, and there's injuries like to Jesus and whoever we sign. But getting straight into this, first person I want to talk to, it's really heated up today, and that's Dusan Vlahovic. A lot of rumors that saying that we're going to be getting him, and we want not that we're going to be getting him. Sorry, that we really want him, and he's a priority to us now. But this has come out of nowhere, so I don't know how much we can really go with it. Like maybe it's just old rumors that it might be that Vlahovic might be the new Benzema or Higuain for Arsenal, where every transfer window, all of a sudden, we're linked heavily to this guy. Um, so I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Would I want Vlahovic? I don't really know. He's not my top target. He's not who I would personally go for, but he's not a bad player. Now, listen. The one thing I want to say to Arsenal fans is this notion that he's disrespectful to Arsenal and all this stuff. I don't think Vlahovic was disrespectful to Arsenal. And I'll say it like this: if you go to the shop and you want a Ribena, and there's a geezer in the shop when you're walking to the shop or with you to the shop, going, "Now you want a Coke, mate? You want a Coke? Oh yeah, you want a Coke? Go in there and get a can of Coke. Get a can of Coke. Get a can of Coke." You're gonna just ignore him. You're just gonna say, "No, I want a Ribena," and you're gonna go get the Ribena. And that's all that happened with Vlahovic. Yeah, maybe that's a funny analogy, but all he wanted was Juve. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe it's a childhood dream of his. We don't know. But he wanted Juve. And he said he ain't listening to no other team. He didn't specifically say Arsenal. It's just that we were the ones pursuing him. He just didn't want to speak to anyone but Juve. So that side of things, I don't care about. There's certain fans, oh, he disrespected Arsenal. He didn't disrespect Arsenal, man. But some people just love hating on these players, and then we sign him, and these same people that were saying we're disrespecting Arsenal, and that they're the same ones that will be fanboying, fucking wanking over him, saying, "Oh, look at this compilation! Look at this compilation of goals." You know, they're the same sort of people, man. Listen, he didn't disrespect Arsenal, in my opinion. But listen, Dusan Vlahovic, would I take him? I wouldn't moan. Like if we signed him, I'd have the yump a little bit because we wouldn't have got the guy I wanted. But like I'd back him. I think most of the fan base would back him. I think, listen, you never know. He could hit heights that we don't even expect. He's a quality little player and he's young. He could be the next whoever, you know. He could be the next top striker in the league. Maybe, but we don't know that. So listen, would I take Vlahovic? Maybe. I wouldn't specifically go for him. Going on to the next target that I feel like Arsenal should be going for is Ivan Toney. Now, Ivan Toney is the guy I want. Ivan Toney is just the perfect striker for me that we need. He's a different option to Jesus. You could play him alongside Jesus. He knows the league. He's in his prime. First of all, people saying Tony's old. He's 27 years old. That's not old. Harry Kane, Lewandowski, 30 plus, scoring goals week in, week out, and they're not slowing down. And they're going to go at least for the next few years minimum, which means you can easily get 5 years out of a 27-year-old Ivan Toney. And furthermore to that is then you want to sell Jesus. Then you want to sell this guy, this guy, because 27's old. No, Jesus is the same age as him. So we can't be talking like 27's old now. The only problem is there is that talk of Brentford asking for 100+ million. I think that's paper talk. I think that's just stirring up the pot. I don't think they're going to ask for that. I think we could put Eddie Nketiah in the deal, hopefully, and maybe get him a bit cheaper. That's what I'd go for. But back to Vlahovic for a second. I do think that the reason we're looking at Vlahovic, and if it is true, is because we could offer party and money for Vlahovic, which will open up funds to get a midfielder as well. So I think that might be what they're looking at, because you could maybe do like a Partey and 40 million, a Partey and 30 million, whatever for Vlahovic. So that I get that, because I don't think Juve, if we went and signed Ivan Toney, I don't think Juve will end up being like, oh yeah, we'll pay 40 mil, 30 mil for Partey. I don't think they'll do that. Don't think they'd pay outright. I think it's more of a, if we get their player, they'll knock price off of him sort of thing. But yeah, Toney, 100+ million is a bit too much. But the problem is, if they ask for 100 million, then people like Victor Osimhen, Napoli are going to ask for 150 million. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? They'll ask for 100 million for Evan Ferguson. What do you do? This is the struggle. I don't really care about the money situation. I don't really care when Arsenal spend a lot on a player. The only reason anyone cares is because of the football banner. Let's be real. My money. It's not your money. It's no one's bloody money apart from the club's money. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'd rather my club be spending the money. But for me, obviously you're going to get the banter if he flops. But look at like a Declan Rice. He's come. No one's really talking about the money with Declan Rice because he's performing. You only really talk about the money when they're not performing. Even like Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, the money talk ain't really been there, like with them. Not like the way Anthony, Pepe, and that even that Højlund. He hasn't really. No one's really been speaking about the money. Maybe it's a dying thing. This money talking, overpaying for players and getting onto them, because everyone does it now. Because that is just the market now. The market's at an all-time high. So yeah, for me, Ivan Toney's the perfect guy, and that's perfect. That's personal preference. I'll say that now. Like, people will disagree with me. Fair enough. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying he's the right choice. Well, I think he is the right choice, but that's me, because I personally like him. I think he's got the right mentality, the right work ethic. Yes, he's done some stuff in his life that he probably regrets. We all have. No one's had an innocent life. No one that's watching this video or checking out this video or watching football has had a clean life. I'm telling you now, no way. The gambling thing, I think when people use that against Toney, I think that's a bit, I don't really like that, because it's a mental illness for me. I've worked in the bookies before. I've seen the way people with gambling addictions are, and it's not a choice. It's not everything in life's a choice. But like it's more to it than just saying I want to go and spend money or I want to make some money. People think he's just done it out of greed, and that's not the reason Ivan Toney was betting. Trust me. It's an addiction, because if you read up on it, he wasn't just betting on Brentford. If he was just betting on Brentford, you could say, or football matches, you could say maybe he was horse betting. He was betting on all sports. He was betting on loads. He was doing like online casino. He had the gambling addiction. So I think instead of everyone getting onto him, everyone should be getting behind him, and I feel like he'll come back with a point to prove. But for me, Ivan Toney's the guy that I want. Going on to the next target that we could talk about is Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, great player. I like him. He's a quality player. But people say, "Oh, Ivan Toney this, Ivan Toney that." Oh, no. But then they're so easily willing to spend 150, 120, 130 million on Victor Osimhen, like he's guaranteed to be a top player. He'll be decent. Will he get more goals than Jesus? There's no guarantee. He's never played in the Premier League. Yes, he does it in the Champions League a bit. Yes, he's done it in the Serie A. Lukaku does it in the Serie A. I'm gonna be honest. Lukaku is a baller in the Serie A. He comes to the Premier League and he just don't do it. Listen, it happens. I'm not saying he will, or I won't say he won't be good in the Premier League. But the point is, people have this notion to believe that he's a guarantee if you sign him. He's not a guarantee. If anything, Ivan Toney's more of a guarantee of what you see is what you're going to get, because he's been doing it week in, week out in the Premier League. Yes, Arsenal's a different system. Yes, there's all this stuff. It can still flop. I'm not saying that. I've seen Torres go from Liverpool to Chelsea. You've seen many players go across Premier League clubs and they're nowhere near the level they were at the other club. But yeah, I don't think Osimhen will be like guaranteed a baller, but he is a baller and I do like him. And I don't think there's an Arsenal fan that would be angry if we signed him, if we went and spent the money. But listen, 150 million. I ask people this: would you rather sign him for 150 million and that's all you get in January? Or would you rather sign Ivan Toney for like 80 million and get a midfielder as well? And my answer is the latter. You've got to get Ivan Toney and a midfielder, in my opinion. But listen, if we did sign Osimhen, I'd be gassed. Everyone would be chatting. But all other fans that said Victor Osimhen this, Victor Osimhen that, they'll all start saying he's overrated. They'll all start saying he's going to flop and all that. That will all happen. But for me, I think, yeah, he'd be a great player to have, man. He'd be a great player. I wouldn't complain at all. Obviously, we need a different type of striker. We all know that. Now, Evan Ferguson. I don't know what I think about this one here, because and hear me out, I rate him highly as a player. I wouldn't complain if we signed him. I might a little bit because I like Toney, but he's young, he's raw, he's still. Listen, I know there's this thing of like young players can still bang 100%. You see at Arsenal, we have loads, and that is the issue. We have loads. And I don't know if adding another youngster to that front line is what we need right now. It'd be lovely if we could sign him and someone else, or we could sign someone else and him in the summer and have them two. That'd be brilliant. But I just don't think that's possible. So it might be one we have to miss out on. Vlahovic is young, but he's that bit older. He's 23 years old. He's not 18, 19. Ivan Toney's obviously in his prime, and that's why he's my number one target, because he's a guy that's going to come in and he's in his prime. He's mature. He's experienced. I know it's only Brentford, but he's experienced in life. Certain things that the amount of football he's played in his life, you learn stuff. It don't matter. Like sometimes it don't matter the level. So like you just get that from playing. He knows how his body works. He knows how his body works and all that. So for me, yeah, that Toney is the right choice. But listen, Evan Ferguson, back to him. He's a quality player. He does it for Brighton. Will he come to Arsenal and bang? Probably, maybe. I think he's a quality prospect, but he's a prospect. We will need someone, as I said, for this season. So that's all I've got to say on that one. I wouldn't personally go for him. I think there's other options. I'd say he's like, I think Ivan Toney and Osimhen over him personally, but that's me. I might be wrong. I'm not a scout. I'm not a football manager. You know, so this is just my opinion. The last person I really want to get onto, really, and that is Kylian Mbappe. Now, the people are gonna laugh and probably say this guy's deluded or whatever. Like, I personally think that it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could get Kylian Mbappe if we have the funds to do so. And me saying that is there is reasoning. Yeah, there is a context to this argument, and I'm talking the context is Real Madrid do not want him. If Real Madrid want Kylian Mbappe, there is zero chance of us getting Mbappe. There's zero chance of anyone getting Mbappe if Real Madrid want him. If Real Madrid don't want him, I think there is a chance of many teams getting him. And I think that you could sell him the Arsenal dream. You know, Arsenal, if you're Arsenal, yeah, if I'm Edu and that, and you know that Real Madrid don't want him and you go in for him, yeah, you tell him straight away, first things first, you get the number 14 shirt. Yeah, I know that might sound like, but it's just a little thing. Like we want you to be the new Thierry Henry. Show him the statue around the stadium. Say we want this to be you. He knows Thierry Henry. He knows Thierry Henry's legacy and how good he was. Yeah, he's an idol to it. Mbappe's idolizes him. You know that. The celebrations, you've seen it for France. You know it. You can't be a French striker and not idolize Thierry Henry. I'm sorry. So for me, you sell him that. You say the new Thierry. Get a Thierry in the meeting, mate. Get Henry in the fucking meeting. Why not? You think other teams don't do this stuff? Tell him about the compare. Like he knows about the comparison of him and Haaland. Say, come to Arsenal, win us the league. You'll be a hero of the club. Yeah. Not only will you be a hero of the club, you'll show people that you're better than Haaland, which a lot of people right now don't think you are because of what you're doing in the France. Listen, Mbappe comes and he scores 30 goals in the season, wins Arsenal the league. Bruv, people are going to be saying, what the fuck? You know, listen, he to win, even if he won a Champions League, a Premier League at Arsenal, he's a legend of the club, bruv, because it's been so long. And if he's a key aspect to that, it's curtains. You know, he's going to be an Arsenal legend. And at the end of the day, he's not playing with a crappy team. If he comes to Arsenal, he'll be playing with Saka, Martinelli. And listen, this is far-fetched. Yeah, it's very far-fetched, us getting Mbappe. But if it's a free transfer, why not put your hat in for him? Why not try to get him? Why not try to sell him the dream? Tell him to be a club legend. Tell him Arsenal's huge. Yeah, no matter what anyone wants to say, Arsenal is a massive club. We've got heritage. Yeah, he's watched players, as I said, he's watched players like Thierry Henry play in our team. You give him the 14 shirt. You tell him he's the main guy. You make him the main guy. You tell him what it will be if he wins the league, the Champions League at Arsenal. You know, Champions League's never been won at Arsenal Football Club. So if you bring it first, you're on par. Like, I'm sorry, you're starting to be on par with the top legends of the club. But that's far-fetched. It will never probably happen. But I have to put it in the video as a figure of like, could it happen? Could it not happen? It's a question, you know. It's something that will. I believe that every club should be looking into. Every big club should try to get him. And I just think they're the arguments you can throw to him to try and get him. You know, for me, it would be a dream. I'd be so gassed because not only that, the rival fans will be crumbling if we signed him. Yeah. But that would be a summer thing anyway. So it's a tough one anyway. But regardless of that, that's not who we should be signing. First of all, we should be signing someone in January to win us this league this season. Try to help us win the league this season. For me, that's Ivan Toney. Let me know below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me who you would go for. You know, who would be the target that you'd go for? Is it someone I said? Is it someone I haven't said? Have I forgotten someone that's realistic? I know I said Mbappe at the end, but most of them were realistic apart from that. So listen, let me know below who you'd sign. If you'd sign anyone, listen, some people might think that we have enough. Some people might think Your defense is in trouble and catches in the room. You know, some people, some people might think that. If they think that, they don't know that good much football knowledge. But they can think that everyone's entitled to an opinion. Football's an opinion-based thing. So yeah, listen, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to share. Yeah, just get it out there, man. Like it. We know that. You know that it helps us out as YouTubers, content creators, when you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't need to go on about it. But yeah, listen, I'll be back this week. I'm going to be doing a few bits with some other people. I'm going to be on some other content creators' channels, talking football. Love talk. Listen, we all love talking football. Every content creator that I do football with, I love it. I love it. All of them, man. I've actually met some people through doing this that I feel like I'll always be able to have a good chat with from now on. And it's funny because you've only met over YouTube, over StreamYard, over all this stuff, whatever. Yeah, and it's people that you can have, like, when you love football, it's really something that brings you together. And that's why they say football's for everyone. It is for everyone. So listen, once again, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm gone. This was only a quick little one. Just to talk about the striker situation, because all I've been reading today is the striker situation online. Yeah, listen, Unbiased Sports. Peace.